Hi everybody, I'm Elaine with My Craft Project. In today's 5-minute tips, tricks, and techniques segment, I'm going to show you how to use a brayer and an ink pad to ink an embossing folder, making a beautiful background for your cards. Alright, so let's get started. As I said, you only need 3 things. You need a brayer, an ink pad, and an embossing folder. As you can see, I've already made this beautiful background for my daughter's Mother's Day card this year. I am going to move over a piece of white foam to show you because it makes it easier to show you when I'm inking the embossing folder. Using a black background, it doesn't always show very well on camera. Alright, so you open your embossing folder and lay it flat. Sometimes you have to fold it a little bit inverted to get it to lay flat, but you want to make sure that your embossing folder is laying completely flat. Then you just take your ink pad and your brayer, you turn it so the prongs are facing up, and you roll it across your ink pad. Now today I'm using an archival ink pad, but you can use any kind of ink pad. It does not have to be any specific brand. Whatever you have on hand, I'm sure will work just fine. So you just roll your brayer across your ink pad a couple of times and load up the ink on your brayer, and then run it across your embossing folder, transferring the ink from your brayer to your embossing folder. Now you're going to want to make sure that you don't oversaturate, but you're also going to want to make sure that you've got a good even coverage on the embossing folder. Now when you go to lay it down, make sure that you have the prongs down, that way the ink doesn't transfer onto your workspace. Now the next trick on this is to make sure that you lay your paper on the opposite side of where you have inked. You don't want to place it over here, because once you collapse it and fold it, it could move and smudge, and then you're going to have a big mess. Okay, so then you just place it in your sandwich like you normally would in your embossing machine and run it through. Okay, and then once you're done, you now have this beautiful inked pattern for your background. One last trick I want to show you today is super easy cleanup. Just take a baby wipe and wipe off any ink that you have on your leftover on your embossing folder. You don't want it to stay on there because it could transfer the next time you go to use it, and you might not want that. So you just run a baby wipe over top of it, and it cleans right up real quick and easy. And then the same thing on your brayer. Just run it over your brayer, get off all the ink so it doesn't stay on there, and it'll be nice and clean the next time you want to go and use it. Okay, so that's today's lesson. I thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, you can email me at anothergreatidea@mycraftproject.com. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. God bless.